Hello, everybody. Alton of Evolution Tax and Legal back with you again today. We're going through our next installment of our weekly newsletter update. What you need to expect are a lot of updates with respect to the CARES Act and COVID-19 relief. Specifically, we're going to talk about PPP loan guidance, expansion of relief for the use of retirement plan funds, filing tentative claims for a refund, and what you need to expect if you received a PPP loan of $2 million or more. So let's hop right in. So the first thing on today's docket is the release of new PPP loan guidance. If you guys tuned in last week, we talked about how this program was going to need a lot more guidance in the near term. Well, we got some more this past week, and specifically, it's with respect to applying for forgiveness over the original 8-week period or the now newly extended 24-week period. Well, thankfully, this guidance makes clear persons who were in receipt of a PPP loan before June 5, 2020 can elect to calculate the forgiveness based upon the original 8-week period that was released as part of the program as opposed to the now extended 24-week period. The next topic we're going to talk about today is the expansion of COVID-19 relief as it pertains to the use of retirement plan funds. As you guys may know, the CARES Act allows persons who are affected by COVID-19 to take distributions from their retirement plans without the 10% early withdrawal penalty. Well, recent guidance under IRS Notice 2020-50 expands that persons eligible for this relief. Specifically includes those persons who are diagnosed with COVID-19 and an individual's spouse, or individuals who live with a person who had a reduction in hours, were quarantined, were furloughed, who had a job that got pushed back or a starting date that got pushed back, and even includes those who are self-employment who had to take a reduction in the amount that they pay themselves. Another item worth note from this past week are the release of instructions for the tentative claim for a refund. Specifically, these instructions got updated to reflect changes that were passed as part of the CARES Act. So really what the instructions are now geared or now account for are persons who want to carry back a net operating loss from 2018, 2019, or 2020 to each one of the prior 5 years before the loss was incurred. It accounts for things as carrying back an NOL to a year in which you had a transition tax inclusion or electing to avoid that. And then as well as filing an extension to file a tentative claim for the refund for the 2018 tax year, which is coming up soon on June 30th, 2020. So you can actually file an extension to push that date back until December 31st of 2020. The final note for today's discussion is a practitioner insight for those of you who received a PPP loan in excess of $2 million. So on or about April 28th of this year, the U.S. government and the SBA came out and said that they're planning on auditing all taxpayers who are in receipt of a PPP loan of $2 million or more. Specifically, they're going to look at the certifications you gave your lender to qualify for that loan and then your supporting documentations. What you need to be aware of are the certain documents you should start to gather to prove out your forgiveness, as well as supporting your certifications that entitled you to the loan in the first place. And a little note about those certifications: if you were found to falsely or fraudulently file certain types of representations with your lender, you could be held civilly or criminally liable for certain penalties for making such a false certification and becoming entitled to the PPP loan. I would actually encourage you to go to our website, check out the full newsletter article to see the different types of forms, instructions, and everything else that you guys should be starting to gather when you're applying for forgiveness, especially when you're a recipient of a $2 million plus PPP loan. Guys, that's all we have for you today. If you want more notes or details, go to evolutiontaxlegal.com. Check out the full newsletter there. If you have questions, feel free to go to our website, book a consultation with us, send us a question, let us help you figure some of these items out. Once again, guys, we really appreciate your time, and we'll see you next week. Alton Moore signing off.